receive dividends. Okay. So we do have similar questions, right, in the homework, so you can make sure you practice. So that's the issue we talk about, and we also talk about this, right? Stock issuance, right? When we issue stock, it could be non-par, could be with par value. Okay, so when you receive cash, you issue the paid-in capital. Okay, so if with par value, you calculate the total par value that's going to go to common stock, right? And then additional amount going to go to that paid-in capital excess par value. If no par value, everything going to go to the common stock. Okay, if with the stated value, that will be similar to the par value situation. Okay, so those they talk about, and we talk about the what if we issue shares for the non-cash. Okay, for the non-cash situation, like this, we receive a factory. Okay, so they want to know what's the value of the factory, right? So that's calculated by the stock price, right? So you issue 1 million, so total value of the stock is $10 million. That's why the value of this factory should be 10 millions. Okay, and then you issue paid-in capital, right? So you credit a common stock for total par value, right? So then that paid-in capital excess par value going to be additional. Okay, so and then we talk about this, right? So what if we have more? We issue 2, right, or 3 more securities at a time. So then what are we going to do? Okay, so here this question talk about how to allocate, right? Because we issue common stock and preferred stock together for 450,000. So now how to split this 450 into 2 parts, right? So what's the value for common stock? What is the value for preferred stock? Okay, so then what are we going to do? You need to split that proportionally, right, based on the market value of the common stock and preferred stock. Okay, so you calculate the market value of common stock, 5,000 shares times 55, that's the total market value of common stock. That's 3,000 times 75, that will be total market value of preferred stock, right? So that's how we get these two numbers. And you add together, that's the total market value. And then you calculate the percentage, right? So 275 divided by 500, that could be 55%. And 225 divided by 500 going to be 45%. Okay, so then because the total issue at total is 450, so then 50% times 450, that's how we get the 247. That is the total paid-in capital from that this common stock issuance. Okay, and the remaining part, this 450 times 45% equal 202 500. That will be the total paid-in capital related to that preferred stock. Okay, and then they subtract the whatever this related total par value. Okay, so then you got those paid-in capital in excess of par value. Okay, so that is the journals. Okay, that is the journals. So those one we stopped here last time, right? And then just keep in mind for this, if you issue multiple securities, this is the one way, right? Because you know the fair value for each securities, and you issue at like some kind of discount, right? So like this, you issue total value is 500, but you issue only receive 450. You give them discount. So then how to allocate the total 450 over these two kind of stock? So this is the one approach. Another approach is like your homework questions. One of the homework questions said, the total you issue common stock and preferred stock, totally you issue for, let's say 450, right? And then you know the value of common stock, but you don't know the preferred stock. So how to get the value of preferred stock? You subtract, right? So the total subtract that common stock value, and then you got the preferred stock value. Okay, and so that's another approach. Okay, so this is from one of the homework questions. So yeah, we stopped here last time. So this is the additional issue. Let's say when we issue stock, we have issue cost. Just like when we issue bonds, right? When we talk about the bonds, we have issue costs too, right? So what are those issue costs? For example, registration fees, right? You need to register with SEC, right? So you need to pay fees, okay? And you need to hire lawyers, right, to prepare the documents and accountants, right? you need to hire investment bank, right, to issue stock for us. You have to pay them commissions, right? Those are called underwriter commissions. So these are all issue costs. So how to deal with those issue costs? Remember, issue costs gonna decrease the total cash, right, or total proceeds we received from selling those shares. Okay, so our cash gonna decreases, right? Total cash received. Okay, and then our meantime our total paid-in capital gonna decreases, right? If this stock has par value, total par value will not change, right? But the total additional paid-in capital, which is paid-in capital excess par value, gonna decrease. Okay, so that is the issue cost. Okay, so now let's talk about this topic. This is a little big topic. Okay, we call the share buyback. Okay, let me mute you guys. Okay, mute you guys. Okay, if you have questions, you can always unmute yourself and ask question. Okay, so let's talk about this issue. So share purchase. Okay, we purchase our own shares. Okay, we buy back our own shares. So we already talked about, you learned this one, right? Because we know the concept called the treasury stock. Okay, we purchase back our own shares from the market. So let's talk about little bit about the motivation. Okay, why company want to purchase back their own shares? So here we have a couple of reasons here, right? So one is we want to support the market price. Okay, so when the company believe that the price is what the market price, the stock price was under valued. Okay, so then they want to support their price, their stock price. Okay, so then that's why they're gonna purchase. Okay, they're gonna purchase to increase the demand. And then when you purchase back your own shares, the number of shares outstanding gonna decrease. Okay, number of shares outstanding gonna decreases. Okay, remember when you purchase back your own shares, so your total issued shares currently held by the shareholders, that total amount is going to decrease, right? Because those shares you purchase back from your shareholders. Okay, so total outstanding, we call that outstanding shares. So total number of outstanding shares is going to decrease. That's why earning per share is going to increase, right? Earning per share is you use a net income divided by the number of outstanding shares, right? So total number of outstanding shares decrease. That's why the earning per share going to increase, which is good, right? So company want to support, okay, the performance, right? Basically, so you can purchase back your shares, okay. And then we and there's another reason. It's a very major reason. It's the to sometimes company need to, later on we're going to chapter 19, we're going to talk about this. So the we company usually have like a stock option plan, okay, or some kind of incentive stock plan. Okay, so we're going to give our employees some kind of stock or give them options to purchase our stock. Okay, if they purchase our stock, we're going to issue stock directly to our employee. Okay, so then what if we already reached the maximum, okay, number of shares we can issue? Remember, in the original documents, we need to tell, right, how many shares we can issue, what's the maximum amount of shares we can issue. So if we already reached that cap, that then we won't be able to issue any more shares, right? So unless we purchase back from other shareholders, right, from the market. Okay, so now we have those shares, then we can issue to our employees. So those we have several reasons. Okay, so these are just a couple of reasons. And then so when we purchase back our own shares, there was two situations. Okay, one is called retirement. Okay, retired shares. So we purchase back and then we cancel these shares. Last time we talked about that, right? So those shares no longer exist. We call it retired shares. Or we call it treasury shares. we purchase back, we don't retire them, okay? We leave it, we just have it, we hold those shares, okay? So then we can resell it, okay, in the future. Okay, there's two kind of situation. So let's talk about the retired shares first, okay, and then we talk about the treasury shares, okay. Retired shares. So we purchase back own shares, and then we're going to cancel these shares. Those shares no longer exist. Okay, no longer exist. So we call that retired shares. So let's look at this example. So 5,000 shares of $2 par value that were issued for $20 per shares now are reacquired for $70 per shares, and then we canceled those shares. Those are retired shares. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we want to look at the when we issue those 5,000 shares, what happens, right? We issue for $20 per shares, right? When we issue those 500 shares, we issue at $20 per shares. So this is a journal. Well, let me write it down. The journal in here. Okay. So we're going to receive cash, right? When we issue this 500,000 shares. So how much cash? How much we're going to receive? It's going to be $20 per shares. 5,000, right? So that's going to be what? $100,000 cash, right? We receive cash, $100,000 with debit cash, and we credit the common stock, right? We credit common stock for how much? The total par value, right? Because 5,000, $2 per shares. What's the total par value? $2 par value, right? Per shares. You times 500, that's you got $10,000. Okay, and then you have what? Additional paid-in capital. Okay, so that the paid-in capital, because the excess of par value for the difference, right, which is 90,000. Okay, so this is the journals when we issue those 5,000 shares, right? So this should be the journal. So now we purchase back and then we cancel it. We cancel those shares. Those shares no longer exist. So what we're going to do? We need to reverse these journals, right? Because when we issue, we got those paid-in capital, right? We got this paid-in capital. So now we put it back and we cancel it. Then those paid-in capital no longer exist. That's why we need to reverse these journals, right? That's why we need to debit 10,000. We credit 10,000 to common stock, right? So now we need to debit 10,000. We need to debit 90,000 to the excess, to the paid-in capital excess par value. Okay, just try to reverse that paid-in capital. We added, right? So when we issue those 5,000 shares. Okay, so we have these two debit here. And then how much we spend? Okay, so in this case, we spend $17 per shares, 5,000 times 17, right? That's how much we spend, $85,000 cash, right? We spend the cash, we decrease cash. That's why we need to credit cash, right? So how about the difference? The difference here, you see this, we have $15,000, the difference. Okay, so here, we have to think about this. So it looks like, think about this situation. When we issue our stock, we receive $100,000, right? Now we only spend 85 to purchase back and cancel it, those stocks. So seems like we made money, right? Seems like we made money. We issue, we got 100. Now we only use a part of that 85 to purchase back and cancel it. So we made like a $15,000 profit, seems like, right? So, but remember, we're dealing with the owner, not with our customers. Is that right? When you talk about when you're making profit, so you like talk about the revenues, right? When we make money, so we're dealing with our customers. This is what? This is not customers. When we issue stock, we issue to our owners, right? Or to the shareholders. When we purchase back the stock, we purchase back from the shareholders. So we're dealing with the owners. You don't want to call this profit. Okay. So in other words, you like some so-called profit, kind of profit. The profit, even though let's say this is a profit, but the profit belongs to the owner. Okay. If the profit is not a real profit, you generate like you're dealing with your customers. That makes sense. So this profit, this so-called profit, belongs to the owner. Okay, it comes from the owner. It belongs to the owner as well. So which is what? Which is our paid-in capital, right? So that's the definition of paid-in capital, comes from the owner, right? So that's why this $15,000, you're gonna go to credit paid-in capital, because this is a special paid-in capital. Paid-in capital, we call it / share repurchase. Okay, so you have this a special paid-in capital account, paid-in capital / share repurchase. So which is what? Which is $15,000. Okay. Any question at this moment? Can you accept this argument? So we have this special paid-in capital. So
is it like because you get repurchase on $85,000, that's why you will get way of the original $100,000? Is that right?
yeah, when you issue, you receive $100,000 cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you only use $85,000 to purchase back and cancel it.
Okay.
That's why you made like kind of like a $15,000 profit. But this is not a real profit, because profit you're supposed to deal with your customers. But this one you're dealing with the owner. This so-called profit, it belongs to the owner. That's why it's a part of the paid-in capital. It comes from the owner.
Is it like a 2 PIC accounts?
Yeah. So now if you look at the PIC, paid-in capital accounts. So now what do we learn the paid-in capital? So paid-in capital, we know we have different accounts so far. So we have a common stock is one of the paid-in capital accounts. Is that correct? Then we have a paid-in capital in excess of par value. That's also paid-in capital accounts, right? And then we have a preferred stock is a paid-in capital accounts. And then when we issue preferred stock, we issue more than the par value. We have paid-in capital extra par value for the preferred stock, also paid-in capital accounts. So now this is number 5, right? This is the number 5 paid-in capital accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the paid-in capital share repurchase. We have so far we learned 5 paid-in capital accounts.
So the excess of par common is that the balance is 0?
Excess of par value. No, this one we only talk about the 5,000 shares, right? Because but initially we might issue more, not just 5,000.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, so yeah, it shouldn't be 0, okay? Or else if 0, then the company needs to close, right? So it shouldn't.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, this is just
That's right.
part of the one. 5,000 just part of the shares we issued. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Any other question?
How do you post the 15,000 in the balance sheet?
In the balance sheet, this is the part of the paid-in capital. Remember, in the balance sheet, you have in the stockholders' equity accounts, you're gonna list the paid-in capital, right? So paid-in capital, we talk about 5 paid-in capital accounts. You're gonna list those 5 paid-in capital accounts. This is the one of those 5.
Okay, thank you.
And you calculate what is the total paid-in capital, right? And then you calculate what is the total retained earnings, right? And then you calculate what is total accumulated other comprehensive income. So you add those together, so it will be total shareholders' equity.
So paid-in capital share repurchase is normal. It's a credit account.
Yeah. So this is remember, this is a paid-in capital accounts. Okay, paid-in capital normal balance. Right?
Got it.
It's like a common stock, paid-in capital extra par value. These are all supposed to have a normal balance on the credit side.
Got it.
That makes sense, everyone? So we just learned an additional paid-in capital accounts, okay? Because the paid-in capital share repurchase is a special paid-in capital accounts, okay? Any other question? So far we learned the 5, right? 5 paid-in capital accounts, okay? Common stock, preferred stock, paid-in capital, extra par value, etc. Right? So those are totally 5. Okay, so what if? So this is situation what? You issue for 20, right? So but then you use when you put it back, you only spend 17. What if you spend more than 20? Okay, so like this. We issue for 20, okay? But now you spend 25 to purchase back. Okay. So you remember you issue for 20, right? So then when you purchase back, you cancel, right? You still have these two debit, right? Just like the previous situation. Okay, you cancel those paid-in capitals. Okay, how much we spend? We spend 125, right? So 500, oh no, 5,000 shares times 25, you got 125. So that's how much we spend. Okay, in this case, we're not making money, right? So so-called making money. Okay, because this is what you spend. Originally, when you issue those shares, we receive $100,000, right? Now we have to spend 125 to purchase back. So it seems like we have a loss, right? Some kind of loss, okay? But again, this is not a real loss, okay? At this moment, you want to consider, so because you're dealing with the owners, when you have so-called loss, you're gonna decrease this special account, so paid-in capital share repurchase, okay? So paid-in capital share repurchase. The one we just talked about, okay? So you're gonna decrease this account, okay? $25,000. Okay, so you can see this example is just opposite from the previous one, right? So the share repurchase, what if the share repurchase account has not enough balance? Okay, let's say this situation. Okay, so we had this the first one, so we have this only 15,000, right, balance in paid-in capital share repurchase. Okay, so then let's say we purchase back another 5,000 shares, okay, for $25. So then that's all we have. Okay, so then paid-in capital share repurchase accounts, we don't have 25, right? We only have this 15,000. Okay, we only have this 15,000. So then this account can only decrease by 15. Okay, so if you want to debit to this account, you can only debit to 15,000, right? So then what about the remaining 10,000? You're gonna decrease your retained earning accounts. You just have no choice, okay? Because that situation, that you can count it like a real loss. When you have a loss, your retained earning gonna decrease. That makes sense, everyone. I want you. Let's see. I want you to practice this part. Okay. Let's practice. Where's my here? Okay. Let's practice these questions. 18-11. Okay. Let's practice this. 18-11. Let's work on this. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Give a little time to work on this. Okay. Retire share situation. Are you able to see this, right? This question, 18-11?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's work on this. Okay.